Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The word beautiful has, in just a stroke of a pen, taken on a whole new meaning over the past week or so in the political world. And many of you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But before we deep dive into that portion of today's episode, we have got to talk about the June series, the incredible June series, guys, where we feature some of the most dynamic, courageous, and beautiful women you have ever met. Yes, I call them butterflies in flight. Yes, butterflies in flight. These 8 women, all friends of mine, and they were just absolutely amazing. Did you see the episodes through the entire month of June? Oh, no. You didn't see any of them? Oh my goodness. You know what? Hey, you got to go check them out. Episodes 11 through 15. If you haven't, there's still time. They're still there. Episodes 11 through 15. But those of you who just did listen to the episodes, thank you so much. I love you for it. But they were absolutely life-changing. These episodes were so amazing. You will not be disappointed. And but let's go back to the word beautiful. The word beautiful has become political. Can you believe it?
Today's episode of Reset to Reinvent podcast is brought to you by the Adams Group Agency, developing final expense leaders.
Hello, and welcome to episode 16 of Reset to Reinvent podcast. I am your host, Helen Blocker Adams, and I'm so happy to join you today. You know, Reset to Reinvent podcast is designed to empower women, okay, to rebuild and thrive after life's toughest challenges by providing inspiration, guidance, and actionable strategies for resilience. And I paused in those areas because I want you to think about reset to reinvent and what it means. And if you watch and listen to all of our episodes, you will see it's about resilience. It's about resetting. It's about reinventing. It's about being independent minded and thinking for yourself. We do want you to subscribe. We do want you to download. We do want you to support Reset to Reinvent podcast. I want you to go to our website too. Check out our website, resettoreinvent.com. Okay. Check out our Reinvent store that has some pretty cool ebooks, guys. One of the books deals with leadership and a little bit of politics in there too. Okay. And another one deals with mental toughness. And then there's another book, and I also have hard copies, the soft cover copies of my personal breast cancer journey. Okay, it's called "In Unusual Determination." That book is also in the form of an ebook on my Reinvent store, which you can find on resettoreinvent.com. And I urge you to buy that book. And you can contact me directly if you want an autographed copy. I can do that for you. I sure can. But this book is meant for anyone, whether they are facing or have faced a threatening, life-threatening illness, or someone who's experienced, just major challenges mentally, physically. I promise you this book will be helpful. It was helpful for me. It was helpful for me to journal that whole experience in 2020, 2021 when I was diagnosed. Okay, so purchase these books today. I highly encourage you to do so. So you've seen the news. You've seen the news. You've read the news. You've seen television. You've seen the news about this one big beautiful bill act. That's the name of it. One big beautiful bill act that Congress passed and was signed off by this particular bill. Okay, you've seen the news, you've seen the headlines over the past few weeks about the One Big Beautiful Bill Act that Congress passed and the president signed off. From what I understand, the bill contained over 1,000 pages. Say what? 1,000 pages. Okay. Now, that is a lot of reading. Yeah. The bill addresses practically everything, folks, that pertains to our lives. Okay. From healthcare to Medicaid to national security to energy, economy, social security, and probably a whole lot more in there. Okay. I am not going to try in this episode. I am not going to try and dissect the positives or the negatives, the ups and the downs of this particular bill. That is not my design. But what I do encourage you to do is to consider the sources of where you're getting the information about this bill. Okay. Remember, most people, organizations, news outlets, political parties have an agenda. So think about it. Think about it. The narrative of 1,000 pages in this bill can be generated into 1,000 different ways of a narrative. 1,000, the narrative of these pages can be made into as many different narratives as the source out there wants to convey. And that's where you and I come in. We have got to be able to think for ourselves. We've got to figure out a way to identify neutral sources, okay, that would allow us to understand the aspects of this beautiful bill. Now, yeah, I know it's going to take a little bit of work, a lot of work, but as it relates to you and your family, isn't it worth it? I would say it is, okay? Now, just don't buy into the hype, negative or positive, wherever you stand. I'm just saying, don't just get caught up in the hype. Read and discern for yourself, and don't get so caught up. And then you're going to look back a year from now or 2 years from now, and everybody is winning but you. Politics is something, y'all. Now, I have to tell you that I was a little curious about the use of the word beautiful. You know, where did this come from? The use of the word beautiful in this bill. Okay. And from what I understand, it's not anything new, but it just kind of stuck out for me at this particular point. So the term, so I did a little bit of research. Okay. So the term, check this out. Okay. I'm going to share with you. The term One Big Beautiful Bill Act is often associated with the legislative strategies used in the United States Congress, particularly regarding large, comprehensive pieces of legislation that combine multiple proposals into a single bill. Okay, makes sense. This approach allows lawmakers to address various issues at one time, often making it easier to pass significant reforms by bundling them together. And I can see how that can be problematic for a lot of people if you think about it. Put everything all in one lump sum, and then let's figure things out after that. And how will it impact me? Okay. So the phrase gained prominence during discussions about major legislative efforts, such as healthcare reforms or infrastructure plans, where lawmakers sought to create sweeping changes through a single extensive bill rather than multiple smaller ones. Okay. And the use of the word beautiful in this context can suggest, and this is what I'm reading, this is some of the research that I found, okay, because I was just wondering where does beautiful come into play, okay? So the use of the word beautiful in this context can suggest a sense of optimism or appeal regarding the potential impact of the legislation, while the exact origin of the term may not be attributed to a specific individual or specific event. It reflects a broader trend in political discourse where lawmakers aim to convey the ambitious nature of their proposals. So that's how the word beautiful came into being as it relates to this big, beautiful act bill. So there's no doubt, I think we can all agree, folks, that this bill is going to impact our lives, all of our lives, one way or another. Okay. The key is what that impact will be as it relates to you and me, because everybody's situation is different. Okay. Not based on, think about the impact, not based on what someone else said, not based on the hype and the rhetoric out there and all of the politics, but based on the research and understanding you have gleaned from it all. Okay. So when it comes to politics, I have learned through the school of hard knocks, folks, okay? I have learned that you have got to have someone in your circle who can unravel all of this political stuff from all perspectives, not from just one side. That's dangerous, folks. So I have someone in my life that I trust with my life, that I can reach out to him and say this. So what he suggested to me, and I'm going to suggest to you, okay, he suggested that I go to Chat GPT or Perplexity AI. Chat GPT or Perplexity AI. Both of those are sources where you can go in and type, what does this beautiful bill act mean? Or what components of the legislator is contained in this particular bill? You type in a variety of things, a whole lot of information will show up. And then it's going to reveal sources so that you can deep dive a little bit more into your particular situation. That's what I encourage you to do. Okay. So after you have taken time to do your own due diligence, then you may find, you may have to reset and reinvent based on you and your family situation. Based on your age, your health, your financial situation. You may be approaching 65 and there's some things maybe in Medicare that's going to be changing. I don't know. But what you've got to do is find this out for yourself. That's what I wanted part of today's show to reflect on and give you something to think about, so that you're not looking at it from a political perspective, even though it is a political situation, but it still impacts you. It impacts your bottom line. It impacts your life. It impacts our lives. It impacts your family's lives. Okay, so no matter your age, your health, your financial status today, and what you want it to look like 10 or 20 years from now. So think about it. 1,000 plus pages of legislation is bound to shake things up. I mean, it's got people on all spectrums. You got the talk show hosts, you got late night talk show hosts. Everybody is talking about this beautiful bill. Okay. And rightly so. But at the same time, remember, everybody has their own agendas. Okay. They have their own agendas. You need to focus on your agenda. All right. What I do know is that if we must think for ourselves and navigate through this beautiful bill so that we can live today, live tomorrow, not in fear or anxiety, but we also, at the end of the day, folks, at the end of the day, folks, we have got to lean on our faith in God through all of this. We have got to lean on our faith in God through all of the discomfort and the uncertainty because God is solid. God is unmovable. God is unshakable in the midst of everything that we see, hear, or read. Oh my goodness. We have got to grab and hold onto our God. Grab and hold. And as I was putting the script together for today's episode, tying in with this beautiful bill, and when I wrote down the words, typed the words grab and hold, it reminded me of an awesome gospel song by Brian Courtney Wilson. This came out in 2015, 10 years ago, folks, okay? 10 years ago, and it's called Grab and Hold. It's on his So Proud album. Oh my goodness. I encourage you right now. Okay. I even give you permission to pause this episode because this is going to be a shorter episode. We're going to be done in just a few minutes. I want you to take a listen to that song, Grab and Hold. It is one of my favorites, actually. Brian Courtney Wilson is one of my favorite gospel artists, but yeah, grab and hold, listen to that. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to grab and hold of your relationship with God, no matter what your religious affiliation. I know you believe in God, and that has to be who we lean on in the midst of all of that. But you still got to do your own due diligence as it relates to what we've been talking about, because that's real stuff. That's impacting your life. But to keep you grounded, to keep you feeling not so overwhelmed with the uncertainty, grab and hold. Family, I want to be a message of hope in the midst of this beautiful bill. Okay. I don't want you to get so wrapped up in a negative way that you allow these political things to distract you from what God has for you and what God wants you to do. It's easy to get distracted. And when it comes to politics and religion, those two can be distractors. And it's like, oh my goodness, I've wasted all of this time. No. So I want you to not allow these things to distract you. Pay attention. Do your research. Think for yourself. Okay? Because God has your back. Okay? God has your back. Do you believe that? I want you to believe it. You got to believe it. I mean, just open up any page in the Bible and there's going to be a word in there to let you know that God has your back. I promise you, I'm a living witness. Last month, go back and deep dive and listen to each one of the episodes in the month of June. If you, after listening to Butterflies in Flight, do not get encouraged to the point where OMG, goodness, that God is not real, that he has your back. I don't know what to tell you. Go back and listen to those episodes. Even if you've listened to them in the past before, listen to them again, okay? Because I want you to grab and hold. Listen to the song right now if you haven't already, okay? Allow it to encourage you, because it will. Let's not allow politics to hijack the word beautiful. All right, guys. I tell you what, I want to thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Reset to Reinvent podcast. This show, we're starting the month of July. We've got some great guests that we've got lined up for the month of July. We've got some exciting things that we're planning for the month of August. And there's just so much going on. We just want to be able to share and pour into you. I do want you to subscribe. I want you to download. I want you to support Reset to Reinvent. Share this particular episode with your friends. Join me as we explore ways to help one another, to encourage, to inspire, and to get people to reset and reinvent, because it's never too late. I can assure you of that. It is never too late to reset and reinvent, because this podcast is all about you. Why? Because you deserve to be inspired. Peace.
Reset to Reinvent podcast. We are living in uncertain times. Job security is becoming more elusive. People are losing their jobs. Companies are closing. But wait, have you ever considered a career as an insurance agent? Just a thought. Our much talked about ebook, 8 Reasons to Become a Life Insurance Agent, can help you decide if it's for you or not. Order your copy today.